Good morning, good day. We're gonna start lying on our back, so take your blanket and roll it the long way. And if you don't have a blanket at home, you can certainly use a towel. A bath towel works just fine. And then bring yourself down onto the floor so that the blanket comes right up against your sacrum, the low back, and roll back over it. And then take a minute to kind of wiggle around so that you can feel the muscles of the body wrap around the blanket. Lengthen through the right leg, lengthen through the left leg. Take a nice deep breath in, inhaling the hands up. And exhaling them open into a T position. We're going to begin here in a T position. And it might be good if you have a strap or a belt handy. If you don't, take a minute to go to the floor. And we're just going to lie here and take a minute to soften around the blanket. So feel your body completely soften to the floor. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Just feeling the earth rise up underneath you, supporting you. And then begin to notice your breath. And where does your breath go? Does it go just to the top of your lungs? Does your breath travel kind of throughout your body? And so a lot of people wonder, oh, how can my breath possibly travel throughout my body? And it does, even though we bring the oxygen into the lungs, the bloodstream picks it up and carries it around. And if you pay attention to that, you can feel that. You can feel the air moving through the body. You can also see it in your mind's eye. So imagine that as you're lying here, if you're feeling any sensations that maybe are uncomfortable, and if you're having low back trouble and it hurts your low back to lie like this, you can bring your feet to standing the width of the mat and drop your knees together. That's all right to do as well. And allow the air, imagine the air as you inhale going clear to the bottom of your feet. And then exhaling out of the top of your head. And as you exhale out of the top of your head, notice how you have a natural tendency to lengthen through the crown as you do that. So inhaling, and then exhaling, lengthening through that crown. Finding your breath. Beginning to notice how it moves throughout the body. On the next inhale, inhaling the hands back to center. This time exhaling the elbows to the floor, hands to standing, and roll them back into cactus. This changes the posture quite a bit. Opening through the front body, through the pec muscles, breathing into it, softening. This brings me right to my edge. I'm very, very tight this morning through my pec muscles. That's the muscles across the front of your chest, the pectoralis group. Breathing into it. Notice where you're holding. Are you holding your breath? Are you holding your hips? I'm holding in my neck. So I'm going to see what it will feel like with each breath to soften one more layer. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Lying on the floor, opening the heart. I'm gonna grow quiet. So find your breath, watch it move through your body. Inhaling and exhaling. Nicely done. One more full breath. And exhale it all the way out. Lifting those hands back to the ceiling, lifting them all the way up, crossing the arms, giving yourself a big hug. This is counterposing that opening chest. We're gonna open the back body. Notice what happened when I grew quiet, when there's silence. Yoga really happens in between the breaths, in the silence, in the stillness. Inhaling, the hands open, crossing arms the other direction, giving yourself another hug. Beautiful. Inhaling, your hands open, rolling off your blanket onto your side, moving the blanket out of the way, coming back onto your back. Drawing in the right leg, exhaling, drawing it in. Inhaling, straightening it up. 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 Just warming that leg up. Warming up the hamstrings. Inviting the body to begin some movement in the center of the body. Following your breath. Exhaling the knee in. Inhaling the leg up. One more time. Exhaling the knee in. Inhaling the leg up. Engage that pelvic floor. Lower that leg down slowly. Hover it. Bring the left knee in. Same thing here. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, release it up. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, release it up. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, release it up. Exhale, draw it in. I'm going to do one more. Draw it in. Very good. Lengthening through that foot up. Engage that core. Slowly lower it down all the way to the floor. Great. Bring both knees in. Begin to feel the knees travel to the armpits. We're headed into happy baby. Let's start with a little rocking side to side, warming up that low back. A lot of people have hip stuff going on. We're moving into fall. First day of fall was actually on Tuesday. This is a time of where we begin to weed our garden and eliminate the things that have already died off. And so we can do that within our own body, where we can begin to, and our mind, begin to weed the garden of our mind of things that no longer serve us, ideas that are maybe no longer useful or counterproductive. And as you begin to feel those knees travel into your armpits, begin to consider the idea of taking a hold of the soles of your feet. Now, if the soles of the feet are inaccessible to you, you can grab onto your ankles, or you can also grab on behind your knees. So everybody has the ability to do this. It's just a matter of what level, and there's no judgment in the level of which you can do this posture. Close your eyes. This is a root chakra opening posture. A little vulnerable, but nobody can see you. Only closing your eyes, having the internal journey. Noticing what's happening. Little micro movements in the hips. And if your hips begin to cramp, mine are, good morning, Annette. Sometimes when I've not drank enough water yet, my muscles will say, maybe not that. That's okay, move out of it, move back into it. Breathe into it. Let it be what it is. What is one more layer that you can let go of in the holding of the hips? Soften your jaw. Can you soften your jaw? Yeah. And soften into that. Breathe into the experience. There you go. So this is a great posture for opening the hamstrings. It's also a great posture for opening and softening the hips. Opening and softening the jaw. 2 more breaths. Last one. Release those feet in. Draw those knees back in to your chest. As if you're an egg, bring those knees as close to your chest as you can get it. Engage your pelvic floor and lift your head up as if you're going to touch your knees with your forehead. Roll into it. Excellent. Lengthening down through the lengthening down through the head, allowing the left foot to come into standing and the right foot to cross over. So we're headed into reverse pigeon, and I'm going to demonstrate this here because as we go to standing and actually do pigeon today, those of you who are compromised in your knees, this is where you want to be. You want to be lying on your back, working in reverse pigeon. So you begin in the figure 4, engage your pelvic floor, lift up, let your hands come between your legs and draw up through the left leg. Flex through both heels. Hook your elbow on the outside of the right leg and draw in. Now you're going to feel this in your hips, and you're going to feel this specifically in the right hip, deep rotators. Now, if this is inaccessible to you and you're really super tight in your hamstrings, you can always bring a belt into this and lengthen your arms and let your belt be what draws your leg in. So we're going to have 2 more breaths here. And 1 more. And then gently lower that left leg, lower it all the way down to the floor, switching out, letting the right foot come onto the floor, left foot cross that knee. So I call this a figure 4, headed to reverse pigeon. Take a nice deep breath in, engage that pelvic floor, lift up through the right leg, hooking those hands through. Notice how this side's different from the other side. So I find that my left side is always more tight than the right side. I also find in my life I have a little more of a challenge stepping forward into my left body than I do my right body. Left body tends to be nurture. It's more of the soft-sided energy of the yin-yang balance in the body. Right side is more linear things, work, the more mind, using your thinking mind. So I love yoga because it helps balance not only my body, but it balances my thinking mind and the stillness of my thinking mind. Breathing into it. 2 more breaths. And then bend that knee, lowering down, stepping out of that. Bringing both knees in 1 more time. This is reverse child's right here, lying on your back. Good. Now, if you have the space in your body, begin to rock and roll forward, rocking up and down the spine. If this is inaccessible to you, then roll to one side and press up and come all the way up into seated position. Easy pose. Let's just take a moment here, find our sit bones. We're not going to be here very long, so go long in the crown. Just feel those knees open and notice how sitting in easy pose after opening those hamstrings is a little more accessible, or maybe not. Either way, imagine that the hips are open and available. Nice deep breath, blow it out. Excellent. We're coming softly back into the room. We're going to move right into tabletop. We're not going to be in tabletop too long, but long enough to remember how we allow our hands to come underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips, going long through the ground, long through the tail. And take a deep breath, dropping down into cow. Let's move into cat and cow. Exhaling up into cat. Inhaling down into cow. Exhaling up. Find your rhythm. I'm going to grow quiet. Focus on your breath. One more. And exhaling all the way up into cow. Good. Taking a nice deep breath in, finding your full expression in tabletop, and then bringing that right foot forward between your hands, coming into low lunge. Okay? So be mindful here that if you have knee issues going on, or if you're on a hard floor, you can put a blanket underneath your knee. Sinking forward, all the way forward. This is the only place that it's okay to let your knee pass your ankle. And the reason is you always want to protect the knee by keeping it over the ankle. Bringing that left hand next to the right foot or onto a block. Engage that pelvic floor, inhaling, twisting open. Do it slowly. First twist of the day. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, open up. Exhaling back down. Inhaling, opening up. Exhaling down. One more time, inhaling, opening up, grounding down through your feet, through your knee, through your hand, and create a long line of energy. Breathe into it. Find your breath. Little micro movements. Keep breathing. Inhaling through those fingertips, exhaling, coming down, sinking all the way back into that back knee, curling over your leg. Imagine your forehead touching your knee. Breathing into it. Excellent. Inhaling, coming back into tabletop. Taking a moment here in tabletop to re-ground yourself down. We're going to do 3 more cat-cows. Notice the difference in the left body to the right body. Inhaling, dropping down into cow. Exhaling, up into cow. Inhaling, down into cow. Exhaling, up into cat. Inhaling down. Exhaling out. Coming back into full expression of tabletop. Taking a moment, pausing here, finding that expression, and then bringing that left leg forward into low lunge. Sinking forward. Again, really sink forward into this. Get a sense of that psoas opening. Really feel it. Breathe into it. Bringing that right hand next to the left foot. Again, we're gonna follow our breath here. We're gonna inhale, we're gonna open up. We're gonna exhale down. We're gonna inhale, open up, engage that pelvic floor. If it goes on vacation, you're gonna go clear to the side, which is what's happening in my body because I've gone on vacation. Inhaling, opening up. One more. Inhaling, opening up. Let's pause here. Find your breath. Feel the heat building. If you need a break, you can always go to child's pose. Nicely done. Inhale through those fingertips, exhaling down, bringing that foot back into tabletop, finding your true north in tabletop, lengthening through the crown, lengthening through the tail, inhaling, dropping down, exhaling up, inhaling down, exhaling up. One more time. Doing threes today. Inhaling down. Exhaling out. Open those knees wide. Exhaling all the way back into child's pose. All the way back. How far back can you sit? Being mindful of your knees, being honoring of your body. Breathing into it. On the next inhale, we're going to rise back up. Coming into tabletop, we're going to curl our toes under, inhaling, exhaling up into downward facing dog. We're going to take 3 breaths here. If you need to walk through your dog, you can do that while you're breathing. My hamstrings feel pretty open, so I'm going to just hang out in a static dog. Let go of your head, breathe into it. Nicely done. One more breath. Good. Walk those feet forward. We'll be back to dog in a minute. We're going to walk forward into standing forward fold, dropping all the way out. Inhaling, rolling all the way up into tall mountain. Exhaling, sitting straight back into Uttanasana. Feel the power in the quads, the strength in the legs. Find where you're connecting into the earth. Make sure that your toes are soft, but your feet are grounded in to the earth. So there's a difference between gripping with the toes and just gently laying them on the earth. Inhaling, rising up, exhaling the hands down. Pausing right here. So we're going to do a balance posture that's going to open the quadriceps. And so if you have pretty tight quads, you're going to want to get your belt. And for those of you who are super stretchy, you won't need a belt. But we're going to first establish our mountain pose. We're going to pour into the right foot. Always start on your dominant foot. And then if you need the belt, you can hook it around your ankle and bring that foot behind you. Okay? Now, some of you are going to have the space, I'll see if I can do it today, to be able to just take a hold of that foot. I'm pretty tight in my quads, especially on this left foot. Find a point to look at. Now, if you have the space, you can kick forward, lean forward, kick backward. Try that. That would be easier. And open your arm. Not happening today. So, might happen in my other body, in my left side of my body, but I'm using a strap, honoring what I need. And the strap is all about lengthening through the arm. This might be your posture today, right here. Balancing on one foot. Keep breathing. Exhale, lower down, stepping out of it. Give that right leg a little bit of space, open it up. Okay, we're gonna pour into the left foot. See if I can do this side without the strap. Make sure you have a hold of your ankle and not your foot. Bringing your knees together. Sometimes I have to stop talking to balance. And if you can kick forward, do. But this is my posture today, right here. For me, it's about opening up the quads. Opening up the front of my thighs. Excellent. And stepping down out of it. Give that supporting leg some room. Open up the feet. Give your hips some space. We're going to do it again on each side. So it's interesting how when you release the quadriceps, the hip muscles will respond. So we're going to pour into that right foot again. When you have long pants on, you might have to pull them up a little bit. Pour into that right foot. Take a hold of your ankle. Find a point to look at. Find your breath. If you have the space, you can go into level 2, lifting that arm and flying forward slightly. Level 3 is a full dancing warrior. Breathing into it. Letting it be what it is in your body. This is about honoring your journey. 2 more breaths. 1 more. And release it down, stepping out of it, releasing it around, circling those hips, feeling the right hip open up as you do that. So one of the reasons we're doing this is we are warming up the legs, preparing for pigeon today. Okay, coming back into mountain pose. And if for those of you at home, you can always have a chair handy if you need some help balancing. If you need, or a wall, you can take a hold of a wall and allow that to help support your balance. Pour into your left foot. Take a hold of that right ankle. Engage that pelvic floor, grow tall. Work the adductors together. That helps to square off the hips. Breathe into it. Taking it to level 2 if you want. Or full dancing warrior. Nicely done. Exhaling, stepping out of it. Stepping wider than hip distance, circling out the hips, really feeling it in the left hip. Supporting leg. Feeling the quad of the right leg. Beautiful. Coming back to the front of the mat. Taking a nice deep inhale in, inhaling up. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Stepping back into downward facing dog. So let's have a full expression of dog. So whenever we open the quads, then we want to open the hamstrings also. Counter pose for quadriceps is hamstrings. Hamstrings are the back of your thighs, the back door of the upper leg. Let those heels fly down towards the floor. And on the next inhale, we're going to just release that right foot off the floor and exhale the knee all the way forward, in between our hands. And allow your left foot to come back onto the floor and sink down into pigeon. Now, don't fall out of pigeon. You want to keep your pelvis square. You want to keep the pelvic floor engaged. And you can deepen this posture by how far up you bring your foot. So if you have knee issues, please, at this point, go to lying on the floor and doing the figure 4. If you have hip issues, if you have a hip replacement, this is a great place to do reverse pigeon. If this maybe just is not in the scope of your practice, reverse pigeon is a great place to go. So take a nice deep breath in, grow long and tall. Exhale, fold over that front leg. For those of you on your back, draw that knee in, coming onto your your forearms. Dropping your head down for those of you who are in full pigeon. Breathing into it. Find your breath. We're going to be here for a few breaths. You begin to feel yourself fall out of this, roll out of it. You can always take your blanket and place it underneath your right hip to give the sensation of building the earth up underneath you, supporting you. Finding your breath, re-engaging your core, feeling all parts of your right hip opening. The left psoas is also opening, lengthening through your crown. Find your breath. Feel the heat building. Soften into it. Connect in with your breath. If your monkey's jumping in, pat it on the head and send it on its way and find your breath. Keep breathing. We have 3 more breaths. Nicely done. On the next inhale, find your hands underneath your shoulders. We're not coming out of pigeon. If you guys are on your reverse pigeon, just stay there, stay in reverse pigeon. Come up on to your fingertips, lifting up. Feel this opening through the psoas right here. 2 more breaths. Nicely done. And then back on your palms, curl that left toe under and step back into downward facing dog. We're going to have 3 breaths in dogs, and then we will go to child. So find your dog. Notice the difference in the left leg to the right leg. Notice where the heat is building and where the energy is flowing. 1 more breath. Draw those heels together. Open those knees, lower down, coming all the way back. Reverse pigeon, bring your knees to your chest, walking side to side. Reverse child. Open that third eye. Let anything you no longer need flow out of your mind. Mother Earth will take it, and she will hold it for you or heal it, whatever needs to happen. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Inhaling, rising back up, coming back into tabletop, curling those toes under, exhaling back into downward facing dog, stepping forward with your left foot. We're not going to pigeon yet. And then meeting that, coming all the way forward into forward fold, exhaling all the way down, inhaling, coming all the way up, rolling up, hands into mountain, high mountain, exhaling, sinking back, sit back. Utkasan, there it is. Breathe into it. Feel the strength. Notice how the strength changes with the opening of the hip. 2 more breaths. Inhaling, rising up. Exhaling all the way down. Stepping back with the right foot back, lower that knee down, left hand to the right hand to the left foot, inhaling, opening up, coming into a twist, breathing into it, exhaling down, stepping back into tabletop. Couple of cat-cows, inhale, dropping down, Exhaling up. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. Nicely done. Reach that right foot through, coming into low lunge. Right hand, left hand next to the right foot. Opening up. Exhaling down. Opening up. Exhaling down. Opening up and pausing. 3 breaths. Inhale through those fingertips. Exhale, coming down. Stepping back into tabletop. Dropping down into cow. Exhaling up into cat. Inhaling down into cow. Exhaling up. 1 more. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. Full expression in tabletop. Nice long inhale. Those of you doing reverse pigeon, prepare for reverse pigeon by going onto the floor on your back, curling your toes under everybody else, lifting up into downward facing dog, lifting through that left foot, and slide that knee right in between your hands, squaring off the hips, and then sinking down, folding over your leg. Make sure that pelvic floor is engaged. And if you need some support, some bolstering, feel free to get your blanket and create a little bolster. That's happening for me. So, again, my left body is being my challenge side today, which is fine. We're just gonna honor the challenge, embrace it. Exhaling, lowering forward, coming down onto your forearms, dropping forward into full expression of pigeon. Make sure that core is engaged. Keep squaring off your hips. Keep sinking down. Nowhere to go. Find your breath. Notice what's happening in the silence. Nothing. Nothingness. Nothing is something. Dropping out of your shoulders. Lengthening through your crown. All these little micro tiny adjustments. Breathing into it. Softening. Where does the soften occur? Just notice. Notice that there's safety in letting go. Three more breaths. Find your full expression of breath. 2 more. Last one. Walk those hands in, coming up, lifting up through pigeon. Feel the back bend. Feel the release. Feel the change. Notice what's happening in the body. Dropping out of the shoulders, breathing into it. On the next inhale, lower back down onto your palms, hands underneath your shoulders, curling that right toe under, stepping back into downward facing dog, moving any bolstering that you might have. Give a full expression of dog right here. Breathe into it. This is a great place to draw your heels together. Open the knees, lower down, coming back into child's pose. Sinking back, honoring your body, bowing before yourself, saying thank you. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for stepping onto your mat. Thank you for taking care of your space-time in this life. Breathing into it. Nice deep inhale. We're going to rise up and we're going to come around to sitting with our feet in front of us and standing. So finding your sit bones, drawing up nice and tall, and then hands come out beside you and you're going to just lean halfway back. This is level 1 right here. This is what I'm going to work. I will show you level 2, not going to show you 3, but if you know level 3, you can do it. Level 2 is right here, but I'm just level 1 today. Level 3 would be a complete boat pose with your feet in the air straight. Yeah. Breathing into it, lengthening through your crown, finding your breath. Inhaling, feet come down, scooping the hands underneath your thighs, rolling forward. Inhaling, coming back, sitting tall. Exhaling, coming back. And rolling all the way down. Hands up overhead. Lengthen through the feet, through the toes. Deep breath in, let it out with a big sigh. Oh, here we are on the floor. Bringing your hands down beside you, bringing your feet into standing. So your back is flat. We're going to lift our head up off the floor, and our palms are going to be facing up. So belly button is working to the floor, pelvic floor is drawing up. We're going to exhale to the left, inhale to the center, exhale to the right, inhale to the center, exhale to the left, inhale center, exhale right. Now, if your neck begins to bother you, stay with this pattern and tip your head back and look at the ceiling. It takes the pressure off the neck. The other thing you can do is you can let your hands gently rest behind your head. No holding of your head. It just gives the illusion that you're being supported. So we're moving left, center, right, center. We're going to do 3 more. Center, right, center. 2 more. Left, center, right, center, left, center, right, center. Hands behind the head. Feel your core lengthen that head back and lie down on the floor. Coming all the way in, bringing those knees in, gently rocking side to side. Yeah. Lengthening through that left leg, drawing that right knee in, engage that pelvic floor, bring that right hand open into a T position and cross that knee across the body. And then begin to go into a twist. And tomorrow, when you're feeling this in your hips, you can send me love and light, because Pigeon always earns me lots of love and light. We love Pigeon. Breathing into this twist. If you'd like to deepen the twist and wring out the entire spine, turn your nose to look to the right hand. Breathe into it. Two more breaths, beginning to feel the body cool as the working piece of yoga is over. We're into the cooling part of the practice. Inhaling, bringing that knee back to center, taking a hold of it, Opening it the other way, giving a full circle in that hip joint. Open that knee. There you go. Releasing it down. Switching sides. I always have to wiggle flat. Get my space and relation adjusted as I change the body. Bring that left knee in, engage that pelvic floor. Open the left arm. Draw the knee across the body. All the way across. Twisting into it. Pelvic floor is engaged, protecting the low back. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Breathing into it. Deepening the twist by looking at the other hand. Softening into it. Inhaling, drawing that knee back open. Opening it to the other side of the body. Right. And all the way down. Wiggling flat on the back. Preparing for bridge. Walking those feet in to flat on the floor. If you have a block and you want to pivot between your knees, you can. Hands come down next to you. On the next inhale, roll up into a pelvic tilt. Exhale down. Let's do two more of these. Exhale into pelvic tilt. Inhale out of it. Exhale, draw that belly button. Imagine the belly button touching the floor. Pressing into the feet. Lifting up, feeling the physics of bridge working right here. So I'm not going very high to start with. Let those glute muscles be soft. Let your bottom be soft. Let the work be in the legs. Exhale, rolling down. Nice deep inhale. Exhale. Pelvic tilt. Feel that belly button. Go to the floor. Inhale, press into the floor, lifting up. Now you can engage those glute muscles coming into full bridge. You want to grab your hands underneath you. You may clasp your hands. Imagine that there's a block between your knee. Looking only at the ceiling. Don't look left or right in this. It puts too much pressure on the neck. Finding your full expression of bridge. Where do you stop holding bridge and bridge begins to hold you? Just notice. On the next inhale, notice where you are. Exhale, lift a little bit higher. And if meditation and motion shows up for you, follow it. Meditation and motion is when the body takes the lead. There's no rhyme or reason to what happens, it just doesn't. Otherwise, hang out in bridge. Enjoy the experience. Find your breath. Staying with your breath. Finding your full expression. Two more breaths. And if you're still in bridge, begin to roll down one vertebrae at a time. And if you're in meditation and motion, find your way into knees at your chest, rocking side to side. And then begin to find yourself, rather than rocking side to side, come to lying flat on your back with your knees to your chest. And allow your knees to come into kind of a pumping motion, like you're just pulling them both towards your head at the same time. And what this movement is that this is a lymphatic movement. It truly is a pump. The lymph system only moves when you're moving. So massage moves lymph, exercise moves lymph, pumping your knees moves lymph. So the importance of moving the lymph is that as we clear our system of anything that we no longer need, that's what the lymphatic system is all about. It's about keeping us healthy, keeping us well. And it's good to take away that stagnation. And in removing the stagnation in the lymph system, it will help remove stagnation even in our life. It's really interesting. It's a very deeply energetic movement of energy as well as the physical body. So we're gonna have about 5 more breaths. So just connect in and enjoy this journey of cleansing your life. Two more breaths. Last one. And find your way into Shavasana. And as you go there, you might feel a really interesting vibration. Sometimes it feels like a quiver. In my body, it feels like I'm gonna wiggle right out of my skin. It's a really interesting sensation. Just notice it. Become acquainted with your own vehicle. Coming inside, feeling the body. And then as you begin to consider the idea of dropping into Shavasana, if you need a blanket, this is a place to find one and cover up. And as you soften into the floor and feel fully supported by Mother Earth, knowing that this posture, Shavasana, is all about integration. Integrating everything that we've done today. Everything that we are going to do later today. Shavasana prepares us for that. Our mind drops into that space of not here and not there. And as I grow quiet, know that I'm still here with you. And allow yourself the space to fully drop in to nothingness. Evolution. And then one day, we wake up. We remember we always have a choice. A choice to remember. A choice to be still. A choice to breathe. And then, quite like lightning, we learn something new. Something new to add to our remembering. This is evolution. And gently begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Gently allow yourself to come back to now. When you're ready, roll to your right side, making the transition from away to back. And as you're ready to rise into seated easy pose, hands to your heart. We'll end with one Om, taking a nice deep breath in and then Oming. Namaste.